Pissing, a typical kid living on the west side in the 1970s, started hallucinating in 5th grade. He was certain the devil was waging war for his soul.
And he joins us to tell us what was really going on and about his new book as well, Running from the Devil.
Hi, Steve.
Good morning.
Thanks for coming.
Love to be here.
When I heard about the book a little bit and its contents, I'm going, no. It looks like you're putting a humorous spin on something that sounds almost very, very scary
Right.
at the onset.
Yeah, well, I think there are a couple of layers to this story.
Yeah.
One is more of a lighthearted coming-of-age tale, right? And the struggles that we all have as we move through adolescence.
Right.
And so there's a fair amount of that in this tale, but there's also sort of this dark element where I had myself convinced, because I was hallucinating, that the devil was after my soul, that I was possessed.
Which had to be terrifying for a little kid.
It was terrifying, and it was so strange that I couldn't find the words to express it to anyone, a parent, a friend, or anyone. And it happened in the church once. This was shortly after these episodes began happening.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, only one really bad thing has the power to penetrate the force field of a church and come in and get me. So I was convinced it was the devil, and I set out over the course of what turned out to be 5 years, without telling a single soul, to purify myself and be on the side, on the force of good rather than evil, mind, body, and soul. So I worked hard at school to get good grades. I turned to long distance running to purify myself. I ran a marathon when I was 12. I ran with a nail in my shoe purposefully once to offer up some pain in an attempt of purification.
This makes me sad.
Well, I wasn't the brightest kid either. Let's be clear about that. And then, my spirit. So I became an altar boy. I went to church almost on a daily basis. I went through more holy water than was made available to me.
What sort of got you to the place where you went, okay, there's something else going on here with me that I need to explore a little bit more than just putting the nail in my shoe and those kinds of things.
So after hundreds of these episodes, I was up in Columbus, Ohio for a high school leadership seminar. I was selected to represent Elder High School at the seminar, which was all part of my plan of trying to be a good boy.
Doing these good things.
And doing these good things. And I wasn't always so good. The book isn't for young people, it's for older teens and adults. I should be clear about that. And at the banquet at the end of this event, the hallucination started. And by then, I knew how to handle it, right? I'm like, this will be over in about 10 seconds. And then when people ask me if anything was wrong, I'll just say I was distracted by a geometry test or something. But then I ended up waking up in the back of an ambulance because I ended up having a full-blown seizure.
And that's
taken
what
to
it
the
was.
hospital.
Seizures?
It was epilepsy.
Epilepsy.
And so
oh my
I was
gosh.
having seizures, and that's what it was. So when I found this out, I sure felt like an idiot. My parents wanted to kill me, of course.
For not telling
For not telling me, but I didn't accept it at first. I went another year or so still thinking, because I just put so much effort into it, right? It's like, this really just couldn't be a medical condition, but that's exactly what it turned out to be. And so part of what I hope the book does is raise a bit of awareness for this. I mean, I would caution parents that every time you see your kid zone out for a second or two, I wouldn't call a neurologist. But if you see a pattern, it may be a good thing.
So it's on
to
Amazon in pre-sale now,
that's right.
and you'll be announcing some book signings
Exactly.
later.
Yep.
Steve,
Come
thank
up
you.
next. Thanks
I'm
for
sorry
having
we're out
me.
of time because it's fascinating.
Especially in graphic novel form to boot. So
It really brings the hallucinations to life.
I would imagine so.
Form.
Hey, Steve, thank you.
Thank you.
Really interesting stuff.
Thank you.